So I got some comments on my last video and on my TikTok page on where I got these glasses. So I'll show you guys where I got these glasses, and then I want to show you all the other cute stuff that I have too. Because I have curly hair. I got this from Amazon also. Look. And then of course I got these cute little cufflinks for my cosplay when I go to the artist alley. And then I got this cute chair. I got it off of Amazon for like $100 and something, and it can hold up to 300 pounds, so that's good because I'm like 220. So yeah, that's my cute stuff that I got. Welcome back to another Webtoon Artist Rambles. Did you do your action step from the last video? If not, again, it's okay. I'm not your teacher. But today we're going to be covering dialogue, or at least how I add dialogue. If you want to make webtoons and webcomics like I make webtoons and webcomics and manga and comics, or just whatever that needs dialogue and is in comic style, here's the dialogue fonts that I use for my stuff. And again, you can use whatever you want. You don't have to use this one. I like using dialogue font that's like sans serif style because it's easier to read for me, and it's like, since I want people to read it on like smaller screens, it's easier to read when it's small, it's easy to read when it's big, versus like non-sans serif style fonts. And you might be wondering, what's a sans serif font? You're not saying sans serif right. I'm okay with not saying it correctly. I'm trying my best. And what is a sans serif font? It's a font that is legible when it's looked at different styles. Let me show you what dialogue font I use. I don't know like the actual definition of it, but yeah. Let me just show you. Remember, this whole Webtoon series that I'm doing is basic, simplistic. We're only covering one thing and giving one action step because this is for beginners who get overwhelmed by all of this and too much information. That's why this whole series is just covering one step, and that one step for today is dialogue. This is what I mean by I use sans serif style fonts. Now, I'm using the program Clip Studio Paint. You can use other programs, but this series we are just going over. I'm sharing my Webtoon process in Clip Studio Paint, and I can share my Webtoon process in other programs like ebook Paint and Metabong Paint for a different YouTube series. I don't know how to find like sans serif style fonts and non-sans serif style fonts within Clip Studio Paint, but if you're like doing a Google search and you're looking for like what fonts do Webtoon artists use or whatnot, I use, the style is called sans serif. Why did I even mention this if I can't even explain it properly? Okay, this font right here that I'm using, I got it like over a decade ago, and it's called Wild Words Romans. Right here. The website that I got it from is no longer around. On my blog at S-Morishita Studio, I do share a list of the other fonts that I also like to use. Here's the blog post, choosing your webcomic font, and I have a list of different fonts that I also like to use that are very similar to Wild Words Roman. Augie, Felt Regular, like these are other sans serif style fonts. Hopefully I'm not confusing the two. I believe this is sans serif. Sans serif? If you are looking for other comic fonts and that are either manga style or comic style, I love blambot.com. They also offer licensing for those who need fonts for like commercial use or non-commercial use. I'm not a lawyer. I cannot give you legal counsel, so ask me about licensing and stuff like that. I don't know. I pay for the licensings that this site offers for the fonts that they make. And I go from there. You can add the fonts that you downloaded from blambot.com or whatever font you might have downloaded. I click my A button here. I go to the font, and then right here is where I can add the files. I just click it, and then my files that I need to add will pull up over here. Alright, so that's the font that I use. This is where I find my font. The little A button right here, and then how I add my font, I tap and then I type. Now I'm using Clip Studio Paint EX, and I can add my font in bulk as well. I can go to Story, and I can go to Edit Text, and I can open Story Editor. Yes. And then this is also where I can add all of my dialogue for all of my Webtoon pages. If you're like, what's your Webtoon canvas size? What's your Webtoon format? Go back back to the first video in this whole series and it walks you through that one by one. But this is how I can also add all of my dialogue for each page all at once. Okay, so my action step for you for this video, since we went over the dialogue that I use or what dialogue I use, my action step for you is for you to find a dialogue that you want to use. Make sure you are not breaking any copyright laws. And if you're like, well, how do I not do that? You can use the website blambot.com. I'm sure there's other websites, but I found blambot.com. I'm like, cool, you offer licensing. I'll go with you. And if you're like, well, how do you know it's legal? I don't know. I'm doing my best, and I believe it is, because it says so on their website. So yeah, if you want to use what I use blambot.com. Again, this is not legal advice because I'm not a lawyer, and where I live, I legally can't do that. I think, I don't know, I'm not trying to get in trouble, but so if you're like, well, look at the licensing usage rights. I like blambot.com, and if you're like, well, does Clip Studio Pay offer that? Look at their terms of service on their website, and they have all that information for you. Because again, I cannot give legal counsel, but hopefully that helps. Because I do get comments where people are like asking me legal advice. I don't know how to answer that. I just look at the terms and services and I read the licensing rights. So these are the things I like to use, and those are they have commercial licensing. Blambot.com offers that. I'm rambling a lot. So your action step is find a font that you like. You might be wondering, hey, can I use this font or this font or this font? Because the style's different and I like this. Use whatever you like. You're free to use whatever font you like. If you don't even want to use a font, you want to draw it by hand, do that too. I mean, I'm not going to... Right now, we're trying to create. We're having fun. You know? I'm thriving and vibing. I want you guys to also have fun, thriving and vibing. Vibing. And now I know there are some other people who's like, no, you shouldn't use this one because this. I'm not that type of artist. I'm not in that mindset right now. Use what you want to use. If you want to use the other one, go ahead. If you don't want to use a sans serif, don't use it. Just create something. Create your comic. Do your action steps. Did you do your action steps from last video? If you didn't, that's fine. You're not in trouble. Just, you know, hopefully this helped. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll talk to you guys later. I gotta go. I'm tired. Bye. I also forgot to mention these glasses are not comfortable. My head's too big, but they're cute. Look at that. Look at the little dangly thing. It's so pretty. And then it has little flowers. It's dirty, but I haven't cleaned them up. And they're not prescription either. But it has little flower thingies on it. You see? They are very uncomfortable. Yeah.